Alright, we'll try this again. Take two. I don't know what happens with the camera. It just shut off on me. Anyway, this is a Suzuki GS550 6-speed. Picked it up last night. Got home about midnight. Finally got to working on it. Spent about 2 hours on it. 2 o'clock in the morning I finally called it quits. Pulled the tank, seat, rear fender, exhaust, all the controls on the steering, on the handlebars. Pulled all the controls on the handlebars. Got it for a pretty good price, cheap. It's been converted to a bobber. Somebody converted it over here north of the river here, but I picked it up out in Odessa. It's got a 4-barrel Mikuni carburetor on it, which is kind of nice. Straight pipes, plan on wrapping them. They're over here. Straight pipes on it. I'm going to wrap those with black exhaust tape. Bike's going to eventually have black on black, but a black on flat black paint job. Peanut tank over there. Going to have a diamond plate on the top running down the center, painted white. It serves two purposes. It looks cool, for one. And two, it's going to keep the gas from eating the paint job on the tank, hopefully. I'm going to reiterate this peak theme across the tank and the fender with the flat black. I think it'll, or flat black and gloss black. I think it'll look alright. I think it'll look really cool. I really like the back here, but I plan on extending this up a little higher. Plan on extending that up a little higher, so I'll probably cut it down here, add a little bit in, bring it up a little higher, and throw a third light on the back of it on the fender right there. I want to get a little P pad to stick on the fender so I can ride somebody on the back if they want to ride. I'm going to do a snap-on P pad on that, so I can pull it off whenever I want, put it back on whenever I want. Plus it'll kind of give it like a riveted look on the back. It is a bobber. It is a home project, so it's not supposed to look amazingly great. It's not supposed to look like a brand new bike. It's supposed to look a little rough, but whoever did this before was a horrible welder. Look at the slag on that. It's just slathered on there, and that is by no means straight, that plate that they put in. And it looks like they've used Bondo on it. I don't know what the hell's going on with it, but I'll put a piece of sheet metal over there and flatten that out a little bit. I'll probably end up cutting that seat pan out with the fuses and stuff. All the fuses and stuff are underneath here, so I'll probably have to pull all that off of there. I mean, if you look at that right there, they've actually got welding on that bolt. That's going to be a bitch. Nice and fun. I haven't really run into any problems so far with it yet. I just, like I said, all I've taken off was the tank. It's, well, that's loose on there, so that'll have to be cut off, and there's just a ton of slag all through there. You can even see the wires are still there from the welder. So I'll probably have to cut that off and redo that as well. I'll just die grind it out, put a new piece of sheet metal over there, drill new holes on it. It'd be a little higher, but who cares? The tank doesn't set down low on the bike. It sits almost on top of the bars, so yeah, not really that big of a deal. It needs some work. I mean, you know, a lot of touch-up paint, a lot of sanding. I plan on tearing it completely down. I'm not sure whether or not I want to get a wiring harness for it, or I want to use the current one that's on there. I mean, like I said, I've never done this before. This is my first one, so it might be a little tough for me, but you know, I don't plan on having it on the road until next year anyway, so I got all winter to work on it. Should be good. It needs a new seat. Seat is crap, and it just had these stupid cheap these cheap springs on it. With my back, I need something a little bit more springy, especially this being a hardtail. So it's going to be a fun bike, though. It's going to be a really fun bike. It's fast, it's loud. The straight pipes are loud as hell from what I've seen. Done a lot of research on this bike, and it's a really common thing to do to it. And it's got a good start. The bones are really good on it. So, you know, it's just minor cosmetic stuff. There's nothing really bad. The frame's in really good condition. My next step will be pulling all the controls off of it, and pulling the carburetor, getting the carburetor out and looking at it really good, and then pulling the engine, getting it down to the frame, pulling the tires off of it, getting it down to the frame, and getting this thing out to paint and work on the engine while it's out painting and stuff. I'm gonna throw another light on the opposite side here, just like over there. Wire those up as be running brake and blinkers. I'm gonna add a couple of lights down here in the bottom down here. I'm gonna throw a couple of lights down here off to the sides maybe. Oh, sorry, you can't see it. Probably down here off to the sides to give me more light than just this little headlight. I figure more light the better. It's loud enough that it really shouldn't be ignored on the highway, but more light, I figure, the better. It doesn't have any turn signals right now, and the thing with no turn signals is it's cool. You raise your hand, lower your hand, whatever. Use your turn signals with your hands, but in the middle of the night, nobody can see you raising your hand. So I'd rather have blinkers, even if it's minor blinkers. I don't know. I'll put them on the front and the back. I may put some little fog lamps and convert them over to blinkers up here or something like that. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I may not have put blinkers on the front of it, but I do want blinkers on the back of it. I'm going to take the I like this bar here. I like the bar here, but it's a little low for me because I want to mount a light on the top of the third brake light on the top of the fender here. So we're going to split this, add in a few more inches on that, raise this up a couple inches, put a P-pad on the back of that, snap it, put a snap P-pad on it so I can pull it off whenever I want, put it on whenever I want. And it'll look kind of cool because it'll look riveted too as well. But my main concern right now is the wiring. I'm getting all new controls. The old controls are up there. I mean, hell, this one, oh, which one is it? Not that one. Yeah, well, you can't see it in there, but I pulled that off there. There was a giant ass spider living in there. Where's it? There it is, right there. You see that? There's a giant ass spider living in there. Had a nest in there. Probably about the size of a silver dollar. But tank was full. It's been sitting in a barn for a year, so the gas smelled like kerosene. So I'd imagine that carburetor's pretty damn gummed up. So we're gonna pull it off there, get it all cleaned up. Next step's to do that. Pull the engine. I gotta get all the controls off of it. You see this? It's got controls on the back here, and then it had the brakes up here. So we're gonna move this all forward. We'll move this up forward here, up to here, so it'll be a little nicer. And these back pegs will just be for somebody if they're riding on the back, which won't be that often, I don't think. So it may be just for little trips up and down the neighborhood. Yeah, I don't know. The guy I bought it from, he bought it from another guy. The other guy left his bell on there, and he just left it on there. That thing's coming off real soon. I got my own damn bell put on there. Get a new kickstand for it. It's got a really short kickstand, so I want something that's going to kick out just a little bit longer. Let it lay a little bit more to the side. I had a hard time getting it into the trailer. It was wanting to fall over in the trailer, bringing it home. All new seals. I'm putting all new seals on it. It's got a little bit of an oil leak, he said, so we're going to take the head gasket, replace the head gasket on it too as well. I'm just really going to go through the whole dang thing, man. By the time I get done with it, it'll look really nice. Get all that paint cleaned up on the casing there. Get everything all nice and cleaned up. It's got a nice little speedometer, a little tiny speedometer. It says 19,000 miles on it. I don't know if that's true or what it is. I don't know. I don't really care at this point. I don't even think that's the original speedometer. It's got a little dent in it right down there at the bottom. I have to replace that. So, originally had it wired up. It was wired up with a damn four-wheeler as throttle. So it's a lever throttle on the dang thing. You didn't turn the accelerator on the handlebar to throttle it. You push the lever to throttle it, and that's just insanely stupid. So I'm getting all new controls for that. All new controls for the handlebars. Accelerator, brake, gas, clutch, all that stuff's going to be replaced. It needs a new clutch. Definitely needs a new clutch. So I'm going to replace the clutch. It said the clutch was adjusted as far out as it possibly goes, so I know that's going to have to happen. Everything else though seems to be in good order. Got great compression. Stuck in gear, pushed it. Really difficult to push. So it's got great compression. I'm going to clean all these engine bolts up. Got a little mineral spirits pot over there. Throw parts in, so let them clean up. But yeah, it looks good. I mean, I need a pair of pliers for that. That's the oil. So it doesn't really have an oil pan. The oil pan's on the engine itself. Parts, if I don't know if you can see in there or not. That stuff looks absolutely brand new. There's no wear and tear on it at all in there. So I think all the problems with this bike are all cosmetic, pretty much. It's going to be a fun little bike though. Once I get it done, it's going to look good. It's going to be a nice ride. It's going to be a conversational piece. A lot of people are going to look at it and say, what the hell? And it's going to be loud. So, it's going to be really loud. But anyway, I think that's pretty much it so far. It's got brand new tires. Man, I don't have to replace the tires. I wanted to go to spokes on them, but I think I'm just going to do a paint job on them wheels. And because the tires are just brand new, and the wheels are kind of cool. They're different. They're 5 stars, so they're kind of different. They're kind of neat. I mean, you don't see that all the time. This is a 1978, so it's 8 years younger than me. So we're gonna see how this thing turns out. Now, this is my first build, or rebuild, or redo, or whatever you want to call it. Most of it's done. It's done the way I want it, so I really don't have to work on the frame at all, except for that plate right there and some of the seat stuff. Like this is just loose. I'll have to cut it out and redo it. And that needs to be all ground down, sanded down, cleaned up. That's where the seat mounts at. It needs a new seat. And I want some heavier duty springs on the back end. I may even go to shocks on the back of it, because I just got to have some reprise from the road, because my back is just not all the greatest in the world, and this being a hardtail, it would make it even worse if I didn't do something about it. So a lot of little stuff, but got a full year, or a little bit more than a year. I don't plan on even having it running until next riding season. I got to take my courses. It's been years since I've been on a bike, so but I'm excited. I am extremely excited. Like I said, I spent 2 hours last night doing all this teardown right here. So I'd say within a week or so, I'll have it completely all torn down. The only thing I'm really nervous about is the wiring. That's the only thing I'm really nervous about. So if any of my friends here are good with bike wiring, you let me know, man. I could really use some help on that stuff eventually. It's going to be a little bit. Of course, the engine's got to come out of it. It's got to go to paint. I'm debating on whether or not to run some of the wiring down through the frame or not. I may just run it back like it is right now and kind of cover all this stuff with some sheet metal so that it's not really visible. I want it as clean, as slick as possible without as many with as least wires as possible. Of course, it's going to have all the wires on the tree. There's no doubt about that. I mean, that's unavoidable. But yeah. Shocks are good. Forks are good, I should say. Forks are good. Nothing really bad there. Brakes are in good shape. Pads on the front look great. I haven't even gotten to the back. It's got it's got that drum on the back, so I haven't even gotten into the back, so I don't even know what it's like. Linkage is bad. I'm gonna have to come over here and linkage on this thing. For one, it's real loose, bent, but also the position of that is too low, so I'm gonna have to put it up so it's higher. Of course, we'll just lengthen that linkage rod, and that'll be all right. It's got new and minor things. It's got new spark plugs in it. A lot of electrical tape, which bugs the holy living shit out of me. Why you use electrical tape on this shit, I don't know. Do it right. Put it in conduit or heat sink it. So carburetors look good. The filters look good anyway. They're kind of dry. They've been sitting for a long time. But yeah, for the most part, everything looks really, really good. Chain's kind of dry. I'm gonna start oiling it here pretty soon. Get it oiled up really good. About a week. Keep oiling it for about a week. We'll see what happens there. But this should turn out to be a really, really, really sharp-looking bike, and fun and loud. So that's pretty much it for right now. I'll do another one when I pull the carb. I'll do another one when I pull the carburetor, and I'll do another one when I get the frame back, or when I get it all unframed and get all the tires and everything off of it, and get it down to its bare bones, and get to looking at it a little bit deeper. And I'll do another one, of course, when it gets back from paint, and then I'll do a couple more as the build progresses next year, or it may be the end of this year before when I start to get the build progressing. After that, it's going to go pretty quick. I wouldn't be surprised if I don't have it all tore down within the next couple of weeks. So, got to make a list of all the stuff needs to be replaced. Like I said, I'm debating on whether or not to get a wiring harness for it or not, or just taking this wiring harness and trimming it all down. That's the one thing that bothers me the most, is the wiring. I'm nervous about it a little bit. Anyway, that'll be it for now.